Welcome to Battle Silicon. I'm Diana Dane. Today's Battle Silicon is a special version in Hong Kong Cyberport. We are so honored and so lucky to be here. So the Battle Silicon go global to the east this time. And Battle Silicon become a very, very well-known branding in Silicon Valley and gradually become all over the world. It's not because of the big production, top production, all the stars. It's because that we put our heart to help the startups. And on this platform, we get the best judges and best people and best team. We truly want to share our resource, and judges want to help the startups to be successful. So today, we're going to see the judges. First, we have an introduction video.
10大华人经济领袖颁奖嘉宾，华源科技协会顾问及2012华源执行董事，西游记合伙制作人贾世莲，华源董事及前会长，2012 10大华人经济领袖，金沙江创投合伙人，Baynote 创办人林富源，橡子园创投合伙创办人，多元创投集团创办人，美国罗特斯特教育基金会董事长。钟伟强，香港数码港管理有限公司技术总监，主要领导咨询科技发展策略和企业发展。吴宝泽，美国硅谷伯乐科技公司 Plug and Play 全球总裁 ，Insights on Demand 创办人及 CEO。李伟倩，心理学博士，圣荷西州立大学心理咨询教授，湾区著名心理咨询专家。
So let's give our hands to our judge and EQ's mentor, Professor Lee. Yes. Thank you so much. And the startup today is IP Selects. The founder is Tom Gregg. Let's welcome Tom to the stage. So Tom, is that IP Selects or IP Selects?
It's actually IP Selects.
IP Selects. So what's the name come from?
It comes from an old legal Latin term meaning the law itself. Because what we're doing is really aiming to redefine what it is to practice the law.
Wow, it's great. You were a lawyer, right?
That's right.
You are still a lawyer?
Still, yes.
It's great. So you got 2 minutes to present your business.
Okay, thank you very much. It's great to be here. So Ipsilex is an applied artificial intelligence company, and we're one of a handful of legal startups in the world. And we've built a platform which allows manufacturers to immediately check whether their products infringe any patents in the United States or Europe. Essentially, it's a robot patent lawyer. Now, as you know, lawyers are expensive, and they can often be inaccessible. And many Asian manufacturers have great products, but they struggle to get those products onto shelves in the West because retailers and distributors are afraid of being sued for patent infringement. So they won't place orders unless the factory can prove that its products are safe. And what factory inspectors and verification service providers do for electrical and chemical safety, we're doing for patent safety, just without the humans. And why we do this is because we saw a situation where legal concerns were holding back advancement and holding back new ideas from getting to consumers. Patent system gets in the way. So we wanted products to get onto shelves. We want to provide a service to the Asian manufacturers that enables them to go global whilst also complying with the legal requirements. So we built a brain in the cloud that teaches itself to read, understand, and make predictions about patents and patent applications. And we're using a new field of technology called automated predictive reasoning, which combines natural language processing with machine learning to provide instant automated answers to legal questions, so reducing the need for lawyers and judges. And I think, you know, I'm formerly a patent lawyer myself, so the service has started off being directed towards manufacturers and to people who need to use patent lawyers. But I think our service has great applications in related domains too, like contracts and trade finance. And it's all accessible via a very simple and easy to use platform.
Tom, your time is up.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Tom. So Now we have Jack to ask you questions.
Tom, Diana assigned me, say I should be the first one to ask. So
It's not supposed to be here. Okay. Thank you.
I obviously do not have all the legal background, so I run the risk of sounding stupid. But fundamentally, investors should be, entrepreneurs should be smarter than investors anyway. 2 questions. My first involvement was with Professor Hu Mingtong of MIT. He personally owns a great deal of IP patent tree search, whether it's relationship and also on. So. And just in the last few years, every business plan competition I went, every show without fail, there is an IP search engine, new IP search engine, and they all claim artificial intelligence. They all claim this is not a new story. So I am very bewildered. Okay, I know it's a very important thing, and I will hope you enlighten me with some insights how your search engine is different and better than others. Second question. In terms of real value creation, investor is usually not swayed by wonderful technology. They are, but then again, they are not. Okay, they are more convinced and swayed and persuaded by true value. Okay, if I am a business owner, you can give me the best tool. I can search. I can see all even with the very gray area, as you know, many patterns, they are related to each other in a very, very inexplicit way, even hidden way, opaque, right? So even if I have your search engine, I see everything, the first thing I do, I still call my attorney, right? So I'm trying to define, because you have a very ambitious first statement. You don't go back on that, okay? Essentially, you're going to change the way that I practice the law. I'm telling you, you cannot do that because it involves much more than just a printed result, a complex tree, mutually related, because you still need the legal process, whether to file or not. It's just how you do that more efficiently. So these are my 2 questions. Maybe you can comment on that.
Okay, they're very good questions, and actually I absolutely agree with you. Firstly, though, we're not a search engine. We're an analysis engine. What we do is we give to people a report. They take a photograph of their product, for example, and then it goes to our AI, and what they get back is a PDF report that says, this product is not likely to infringe any patents, or is likely. This is then something that they can give to the retailers and distributors, the sourcing guys based here in China, who they need to tick this box on their sourcing process. Because their lawyers have created a process for them which says, right, before you are allowed to place any orders for products, you have to do some kind of patent clearance. And normally they go to the factory, and then the factory would pay some Chinese lawyer to do that, and then they'd get this report, and then they'd give it to the sourcing company, and that's it, box ticked. So what we do is we automate production of that report. So we actually give them a verdict right there and then, which they can directly pass to the sourcing companies. So I think that's the key thing about our product.
So actually, the core technology you mentioned was NLP, natural language processing, and machine learning, right? NLP, I think, as we know, people in the industry, actually doesn't work very well, especially in general language. Either it match too much or match nothing, right? So either case, you can't really draw the conclusion that you were looking for directly. Machine learning requires human participation, right? So where do you get the humans to kind of judging, assuming that I have a products and I'm telling you, the system what I want, and there's no other feedback system for it to learn. So maybe you can elaborate a little bit about your technology.
Yes, actually, I had an answer prepared for this, Jack, because I found a quote of yours online that said, you hate hate NLP, it's a load of rubbish, something like that. I don't know, maybe got burned in the past. Actually, NLP has undergone a lot of development, particularly last year. There were some huge developments. So the field has changed quite a lot recently. Second thing is patent domain is very specific. So we are able to, and when I say we, I mean me, I'm a patent lawyer. I know the tricks of the trade. I know how these things work. I know what the shortcuts are, what to look out for. So I've been training the brain so far. In the longer term, what we would hope to do is get direct feedback from the users. So they go onto the platform, they get this report, and then we say to them, is this report useful or not? Was there anything we missed? So they will also participate in the training that way.
I got a question. You're a lawyer yourself, right? So you've been in the legal profession, and I'm just curious, is there an opportunity, maybe even in just the beginning, how rather than the premise of completely replacing human interaction entirely, right? Basically use this as a tool to dramatically accelerate the time to be able to do these patent verification. And then you have the lawyer come in at the end and saying, okay, I looked at this, it looked legit, and I'm going to put my seal of approval on it. That way you get the legal profession to work with you, right? As opposed to you're trying to replace the lawyer entirely out of the equation. Just your thoughts on that type of approach, or is at least as a way to get into the market until you prove yourself?
Yeah, I think that's right, and that may be something that we need to look at in future, but right now we're ambitious, and this can be done, and we're doing it already. And I don't know about you, but I hate lawyers. They're not pleasant to deal with, and they really do stop innovation. They hold things up. So I really want them out of the equation. Patent system is broken, so we're trying to do as much as we can to fix that. One interesting point, which I didn't mention before, is our artificial intelligence system only needs to be correct in its answers 51% of the time. So this all sounds very difficult, but when you think our bar that we have to reach is being correct in our judgments only 51% of the time in order that we can get a legal presumption that the system is right or not, that's very achievable, I think.
Good. I have a quick question. Briefly mentioned about sales and marketing. Who are your customers? How are you going to acquire them?
Okay, so the customers are factories in China. There's an estimate that there's 500,000 factories in China. So we have a huge potential customer base, and that's not even thinking about Vietnam and Thailand and Indonesia and so on as well. How we're going to acquire them? We're going to do that through different sales channels that we have. Firstly, we'll be able to target big sourcing companies, such as Walmart, such as Li and Fung, and we're going to be able to hopefully tie in with some sourcing platforms as well, like HKTDC, like Alibaba, and get them to promote our platform for us.
Thank you, Tom. So now let's see the judges' vote for your business plan. Judges, please get ready to vote for Tom. Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, Tom, you said you hate lawyers, and how did you become the lawyer at the first place?
EQ not pass.
Actually, I used to be an electronic engineer, and so I saw the destructive effect that patents were having on electronics and on engineering. So I wanted to change that.
Okay, good. Now we have EQ questions for you. You choose a number. You got 3 left. You choose from 3 number, and let's see your question.
Number 5.
Number 5. Let's see number 5. Yes, Dr. Lee.
Okay, first of all, I'm a psychologist, but I disagree the way psychology are being practiced in many places. I want psychology to benefit people.
You hate psychologists.
I dislike some psychologists will practicing psychology, but I really enjoy being a psychology helping people. So this question is about how do you deal with feedback that you do not necessarily agree. So your mentor tells you that you are very direct. from her tone and expression, you know that the comment feedback might not be a compliment. What do? A, say nothing. You know that's her opinion. You do not want to appear to be defensive. B, ask, can you give me some more examples? C, say, thank you for your feedback. I think being direct will eventually help me to earn a good reputation. D, none of the above.
Tom, you are direct.
Yes, I am pretty much a direct person, and I've never seen any reason to be otherwise. So
The answer is?
my answer would be a combination of B and C. So when I've done something which somebody doesn't like, I want to know why that is. So I'd ask for some specific examples and try and learn from my behavior. And also, yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong, particularly with being straightforward. And I do think it would eventually help me to earn a good reputation. I like my team that I have to be very direct with me as well.
So here's the balance between you want to be yourself and believe your true value of being direct will eventually people will trust you for who you are. But let's think, however, okay, there are some situations your directness may impact. For example, if you interact with me, you're being direct and honest, I actually took it as non-sensitive. So how would you adjust that?
So if I was going to be very critical, then of course I would approach it indirectly.
How would you do that?
In what
being
way?
honest.
So I mean, it's about giving and receiving feedback then, in which case, if I have to give feedback, then I will point out, I'll say, hey, you've done a great job. I really like your psychological advice. It's benefiting me greatly. And I think you've got some great things to say, but, on the other hand, you could dress a bit more conservatively, for example.
You sound like a Chinese.
Okay. I'm really start thinking about what's wrong with me today. Okay. So here's my thought, just sharing with everybody, is that when you give people positive feedback, the next sentence don't start with a but. Because whenever you say but, people forget the good thing you said. For example, Bob, you're wonderful, but. But Dan, I love your dress, but.
But you got a better one.
So directness, being directness, how do you define, being direct for you?
Just really being truthful all the time, and not being afraid to say things which might be considered controversial by some.
Okay, so that's different, being direct and being truthful. So I have a theory called Tiffany theory. If I give you a gift in a Tiffany box versus the same gift in a newspaper, how do you feel? So being truthful does not mean you have to be direct. You can be very gentle, hand over the Tiffany box. So thank you for sharing.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you, Tom. Thanks for Dr. Lee, and we learned a lot. Yes, thank you. So let's see the judges vote for your EQ session. Please get ready to vote.
It feels like I'm doing the butt. Yeah,
Oh, see? That's interesting. I like Bob's your vote. Yes. That is but. That is but.
Did you run the path?
He hates a lawyer, but he talks like a lawyer.
He hates lawyer, but he talks like a lawyer. But you're still a lawyer. But what's wrong with lawyer?
Yes, but I was also truthful.
Okay, so now you get an opportunity to draw someone to you ask a question to. Okay, see that?
This is to Kenneth.
Okay, Kenneth.
I sometimes find it very difficult pitching to people my idea because it's a business-to-business idea. It's not as sexy as consumer products. And worse than that, it's about the law. And worse than that, it's about patent law, which techies generally hate. So I wanted your advice on how I can kind of sweeten the bitter pill, if you like, and make my product sound more, glamorous and yes, I really want to invest.
Don't wrap it in the newspapers. And don't talk to Bob. Just kidding. No. He's great. He's fantastic. No, this is a great question. I actually am from the enterprise side of the business. So, I think it's important to be able to simplify the message to the point where, as they used to say, either my mother or my grandmother will get it, right? So it doesn't matter how complex the technology, it doesn't matter how complex the machine learning algorithm is, you gotta be a boy to something very, very simple and straightforward. What I found very helpful is to give a very clear, tangible example, right? It doesn't have to be complicated, and saying like, this is the problem today, and this is how it can be so much easier in the future, right? In a way that everybody can understand. And depending on the audience, if they want to get into the technology, sure, we can absolutely get into that. But you have to simplify the message that everybody gets it. It doesn't matter whether it's a B2B or B2C or whatever it might be, right? I think that's very important, especially when you pitch to potential investors, a bunch of panelists like this. Some are very, a lot of expertise in IP, law, legal. Some are not. So you have to make the message that everybody understands.
You got time to ask another question.
Yeah, my other question is about the China market. So obviously our target customers are mostly going to be Chinese. And I just wondered kind of like, would Silicon Valley investors kind of look at this company and go, well, they're doing something a bit weird and they're targeting the mainland China market, which, hey, I don't know anything about. So do we need to target more the mainland investors, or?
That's an excellent question here. I'll give you two answers. One is I would diversify who you target. I wouldn't just focus on, since you're primarily focused on mainland China, there's lots of investors in Hong Kong, in China, and in other parts of the world that invest. The other thing, the good news is Plug and Play does invest globally. So yeah, we actually invest on a global basis. And there are also other investors like Jack, for instance. So there's a number of, we're all from Silicon Valley, and we all invest globally and invest in Asia. So it's about being selective. I think in general, it's about finding the right partner to help you grow your business. Right? It's not just about capital. It's about finding the partner that has the connection, that has the network, that has a way to supplement your business in addition to capital. And those are, I think, some of the better investors, and you can get more value out of it, and it'll be a good partnership together.
It's great. And that's why we're having this show, to build up the network and connection for startups. Yes. So let's see the judge's final vote for you. Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
See? Okay, so now you got the opportunity to choose one of them to be your advisor. Who you would like to choose?
I'm going to choose Kenneth because he has some great advice just then.
You choose Kenneth. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And actually, I saw that Jack, you vote cross to him, right?
Yes, I did.
Yes. So tell us why.
To be honest, I really didn't completely get neither the value proposition and the technology, right? So that's kind of my problems. I don't know who's going to buy this, really. I don't think the factory owners would be interested in doing something like this, but maybe the sourcing company has an obligation. And then if you're just passing like 51%, and would the other guys in the US ultimately recognize this? Which law firm stamped it probably means a lot more than whatever the software that I have never heard that says 51%. So that's kind of my problem.
Yeah, Bob, you turned your butt to yes. So why?
But again, just personal observation. So far, we have 3 presenters, right? The first one, to me, he was selling his charm, and successfully. The second one began to sell products. although somewhat clumsy, but
So what is
he did a good job.
selling?
And he's the first one. I was surprised by his competency. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
See, he surprised me. All right? Because before you came out, I was about to strike you down. Because my opening question, I have seen this every show I went to. But I sense this very, and I don't know how long you have been doing this, I sense this very, very good value in your competency, and that's regardless of your hate or your maybe you have a father problem or something like that. I don't know. But so
Who's the psychologist here?
so for that, I completely turn around my mind, which is good value. Yes.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Bob. So, David?
Yeah, I agree with Bob that it's a difficult problem, but if you really can tackle it, I think that's create tremendous value to the whole, I think, the tech sector. So yeah, so I will give it a try, and good luck.
Thank you. And Kenneth, seems you got a very friendly face. Everybody choose you to be an advisor.
Was it rigged? No, I love the idea. I love this space. I think legal is a very, very tough space to nail. I would suggest if you have success or cultivate a really important success story and sell the heck out of it, right? I think that's kind of how you get believers out of Jack and believers out of people saying like, this can't be done. You have to prove it to them that it absolutely can be done. And good luck.
Thank you. Leslie?
Just like sales and marketing, the customer acquisition strategy is very important. To craft the message, echo back to Kenneth, you really have to craft the message, and make it easier to understand so that it will help you to get your customer acquisition. So take the technology as part, make sure that you focus on that.
Tom, what have you learned from today's show?
I need to simplify my message. I think, yes, having a real example. We haven't launched yet, but we will be launching next month, at least a beta. And I think I need to, sell the heck out of it.
That's great. Yeah, I think that startup is a learning process. And for me and running my own company, Diding TV, it's also a learning process. Each day, I ask myself, have I handled setbacks gracefully? Have I treated people with compassion? I think it's very meaningful for us to do the startup right.
Yeah.
Yes, wish you success.
Thank you, Diana.
Congratulations, Tom, and thanks for being with us. I'm Diana Ding, and see you next time.